works for the VA. He's a contractor. He's an approved provider for the VA, and he is a approved vendor for Austin Road and Baskerville. He is not a State Farm employee, so let's clear that up.
Oh yeah, he's not okay. Yeah, he was the expert witness for State Farm.
Okay.
So Austin Road Basketball, thank you, because she's been there. Austin Road Basketball is the representing firm for State Farm. I sued Chandra and Linda Tucker, who were the insured of State Farm. So, because State Farm accepted Mrs. Tucker's liability up to the limits of her coverage, they were responsible for her defense. And I did not know that defense was unlimited until Mrs. Vanilla told me that. I thought there was a cap on defense. So anyway, defense is unlimited. And Dr. Shim, whenever the compulsory medical examination, that's just when the insurance company wants to look at you and see if you're really messed up. They take you and they send you to their doctor. Well, they sent me to the doctor. It was Dr. Shim. I had no idea who he was. 2 months later, while at the VA, he came in and treated me. And I'm like, wow, this guy looks familiar. He looks familiar because he saw me. And by the way, for those who don't know and don't believe it, Title 18 United States Code is a federal crime for conflicts of interest. Now, I'll take my word for it. And just for the sake of edification, personal edification at that, we'll pull it over here for the people who don't know how to do these things. We do it that way. And we'll go 18. Oh, you see how it pops up? It pops up because I've been here before. And there you go. Acts affecting personal financial interest. And you can do it this way, and everybody can do that as well.
Is there civil relief inside of that title? Or is it only criminal?
You mean because, no, the fact that it's a crime, and you mean that an attorney would have induced another person to commit a crime? That one?
No, so criminal codes are typically the attorney general or some state prosecutor
Federal
needs to.
Federal in this case, right?
Okay, yeah, federal prosecutor would have to come after.
There's nothing civil. It's just part of the fact pattern as to what happened when I filed the lawsuit for fraud in the inducement.
Gotcha.
I'm just pointing out that they were involved in criminal activity in the case. So within that, so we got that down there, and then how Judge Emily Ann Peacock forced me to sign a mediation, forced me to sign a release, although I agreed to a stipulation of the parties, and we all know that under Florida law, a stipulation of the parties is not the same thing as a mediation settlement agreement. And I'll just show you all this stuff as well, because just for posterity. And what's even crazier is that these attorneys went into the okay, here we go. Here's my appendix to my writ of certiorari. Yeah, writ of prohibition. Okay, this is my writ of prohibition to the Second District Court of Appeals. And I'm actually doing this for a couple of reasons. One, to show you when people want to call out somebody, you should probably do your freaking homework. You see that, macadamia, right?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. Pretty nice, huh?
It's clean. It's clean.
Yeah, you can tell I know they did it. Okay. This is the stipulation of the parties. The defendants, who would be these people, shall pay me $30,000 in full and final. It involves these people, the entities. Now, they wanted to add all these people here, and I'm like, okay, but I didn't sue them, but okay, we don't care. Their State Farm is going to satisfy the lien. But right here is where it's interesting. The plaintiffs shall voluntarily dismiss this litigation with prejudice. This litigation would be only this case here, not anything in the future. Now, what was interesting is conspicuously missing are the names of Chandra and Linda Tucker. What this criminally acting attorney did was, and by the way, this is Judge Peacock ordering me to sign the stipulation of the parties. The court orders that pursuant to the settlement agreement. Wait a minute, I signed a stipulation of the party. I never signed a settlement agreement. And under Florida law, those are two different documents. They're not the same. So, and then you'll hear her say that, Mr. Doss, I'm ordering you. First of all, she tells me I'm not going to argue with Mr. Rowe during her hearing. kind of interesting. A judge would feel that way, that I'm not going to argue, which I'm there to do, is argue. And then she orders me to sign the release. Now, for just as from a superficial cursory view, you can tell the release contains more language than the stipulation, which means it's not the same thing. And she forced me to sign it, and you see I signed it clearly under duress. So, just for those who didn't know, and then there's a hearing. There's so many more, but I don't want to get into that thicket right now. I just wanted to make sure I let everybody know that this is where we were. So now, that's secondary, and I don't know what I do with the damn letter. Okay, bar complaint response, so that you can see the response. And this is a little bit more than I anticipated on doing, because I want to watch Ohio State. So now I'm telling the bar, while you all are bothering me, why didn't you look into all this behavior, which I've already informed you of? But you told me you didn't want to look into it. Subsequent lawsuits. I chronicle my once active lawsuits alleging fraud and inducement, torture, interference with a business relationship, and intentional infliction of emotional distress against Austin Road Basketball, Professional Association, Dr. Shem, and State Farm. These cases highlight the difficulties I faced as an honorably discharged disabled Army veteran seeking redress for alleged wrongs committed by well-founded corporate entities, local attorneys, judges, and a local expert witness. I share my pleadings, the motions to dismiss filed against me, and the court's rulings to illustrate the procedural hurdles pro se litigants face and the multiple rules your fellow attorneys and bar members have violated. And yes, Chagret does write these things. I write because I went to school and they taught us how. The weaponizing of the child support, so that's a throw out for everybody else. Family law retaliation. My educational services also cover the rampant corruption in the family law division, specifically regarding the Department of Revenue and child support enforcement. I share my personal nightmares to warn others of how the system ignores its own laws. Yeah, I kind of make it a little bit special, and I give the case numbers right here, and we just kind of chronicle it. The theft of real property. I like to share with my audiences the reality of my experiences, like free 14th Amendment protections for Black people, descendants of Africa, regarding the lack of protection for my property rights in Hillsborough County. I discuss how so many judges turn a blind eye to the theft of my property without a day in court. And I detail how I experienced a lack of due process and HOA foreclosures and property disputes, and how even a veteran can lose his home through judicial inaction and manipulation by unknown but diabolical entities. Just look at the chain of titles for 517 Tuscany Street in Brandon, 2534 Clareside Drive in Valrico, 12725 Bramfield Drive in Riverview, and 4336 Spinnaker Cove in Tampa, if you think I'm lying. But of course, you know I'm telling the truth, don't you? I did tell her ahead that I was going to do some code shifting in here. I did not use any profanity, which I really wanted to, but the constitutional basis for educational activities, and as you see outside the NAACP versus Button, the Brotherhood of Railroad Trainmen versus Virginia X-Relation, Virginia State Bar, and it's a First Amendment protection to help you all by sharing my information with you. I did want to say a couple of other words to these people, but I didn't do it. I refrained. Context of systemic misconduct, why this inquiry is suspect. It's impossible to view this inquiry from the Florida bar in a vacuum. And as Macadamia said, it's pretty interesting. Every guru should have these kind of letters. Every guru should be responsible for doing this if they're doing what they claim they do.